What's up, America? I'm Danny T. Welcome to the show. Today, we're going to be going over the arrest of a former prime minister with ties to Epstein. We're going to talk about Pam Bondi keeping track of what Congress is viewing in all these Epstein file releases. We're going to talk about the ridiculous list of names she dropped the other day, and I'm going to go over my own list of people of interest. If I was a DOJ, where I'd get my investigation started. We're going to end off talking about Puerto Rico. It seems they're turning a little more conservative, and I'd like to go over that for a second, just at the end of the episode. Well, let's not delay. Former Norwegian Prime Minister from 1996 to 1997, Thorbjorn Jagland was arrested for his ties to Epstein. His political career spidered through several different government positions. He's been a member of the Norwegian Parliament. He was Secretary General of the Council of Europe from 2009 to 2019, and he represents the Labour Party. Now, the Council of Europe has lifted his diplomatic immunity. He was charged with aggravated corruption. Uh, they're looking into any gifts or benefits received from Epstein during his time in political power. They also found conversations discussing setting up meetings with Russian officials, including Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, uh, and several plans to visit with Epstein, even on the island, even plans with Jagland's family to go on a trip with Epstein, even after he was already a registered sex offender. Now, he's been cooperating so far, but hopefully doesn't meet the same fate as Jean-Luc Borrell. He was a French modeling agent. He was arrested in 2020. He was found dead in his cell in 2022 before his trial. He connected to Epstein. We also can't forget about Virginia. Now, her death was labeled a suicide. She was one of the Epstein survivors. And most recently, the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie. She's the mother of Savannah Guthrie, who was a reporter. She interviewed Virginia and several other Epstein victims in 2019. Trump said kidnappers will get the death penalty if she is not returned alive. Now, that's a lot of coincidences going on there, which is pretty crazy. Now, it is important to remember that the trafficking is just one piece of this Epstein puzzle. Epstein was connected to people all over the world, businessmen, political connections, and celebrities. He seemed to know about major events before or during they were going on, or at least he knew people that did. There's emails surrounding 9/11, Ukraine, Gaza, even a pandemic planning back in 2015. I know it's not the same pandemic as we went through what they were talking about, but it's still a crazy coincidence. A little fun fact about me, I don't really believe in coincidences, so it's all just very strange to me. Uh, but that brings us to Pam Bondi's handling of all this. Over the past few days, after my initial anger of the oversight committee meeting, uh, I'm starting to change my mind about Bondi and how she's handling things. Um, there's really one of three ways you can look at how she's doing this. The first way is she just doesn't care, which it does seem to come off that way. But I mean, she's a Christian woman. She spent her entire career in justice. It just seems very odd to me that this is one of the biggest cases of our lifetime with corruption and scandal. And, she could go down in history as one of the greatest AGs. I don't see her just dropping the ball on this right here, which brings us to the second one. Maybe it's a cover up. We've been hearing a lot about that. If this is a cover up, it's the worst cover up in history. I mean, our government, whether it's Democrat or Republican, they're very good at lying to us. They're very good at keeping secrets. This doesn't seem like that. It seems very, very crazy what's going on, very deliberate. From her deflections, talking about the Dow, uh, bringing up things that have nothing to do with questions she was asked. It was just very strange. Everyone keeps thinking she's covering for Trump, but I don't think it's that. I mean, if you look into Trump, first off, they Pam Bondi gave Congress unredacted files for a limited time to go over whatever they wanted. Um, if Trump was in there, I'm sure one of those members would be blasting it out everywhere by now. I don't think it's in there. But back in 2006, Trump met with the former Palm Beach police chief, Michael Rettler. He said in his interview with him that uh, everyone knew what was going on with Epstein. Maxwell was evil, and he said he would help however he could. In 2009, Trump met with the attorney representing the victims, Bradley Edwards. They spoke. The takeaway from that was that Trump and Epstein were just uh, business associates at best. You know, they broke ties a long time ago. You have Virginia herself saying that she saw Trump at Mar-a-Lago. He was always nice. She never saw him at the island. Uh, there's the anonymous tip everyone's been talking about, different podcasts and stuff, talking about the underage girl and that she was struck by Trump. I don't know how to talk about this here. Uh, yeah, she was assaulted by Trump, but she was an anonymous caller. She never wanted to follow up, and no one's heard from her since, even with all this going on, which is why she was labeled not credible. Um, I don't see a cover up going on here, which the third choice for me out of the three, and the one I think is most likely, she's building a case. She doesn't want leaks before arrests are happening. We have the Clinton depositions happening at the end of the month. Um, as I've said, she's been watching what Congress views. Um, I really think after the Clinton deposition, the following months, we're going to start seeing some arrests. I could be wrong, but I'm going on record right now and saying I think something's going to happen and they're just stalling for time. It seems to be the most likely for me. Now, she did drop a giant list of names, about 300 names. Uh, it's important to know that just like anything you watch on these Epstein videos, anyone who's doing it, just because a name pops up, it doesn't mean they're guilty of anything. It just means that they're in the files. They were accused of something or they just popped up. It's very important to remember that. Um, Now, she dropped the list of 300 names, and Janis Joplin and Elvis were on there. So obviously, it was just more BS, more buying time. It just seems very likely to me that I think a lot of people are going to be shocked when some arrests do start happening around here. Now that brings me to my list. Now I have my own list of names of people that I think deserve to be looked into at the very least. The first person on that list is Leon Black. I covered him a few episodes ago. Um, he paid money to the Virgin Islands when the island got raided to buy himself immunity. I don't think that should be legal. I don't even know if it is legal. Um, he's had several accusations even outside of the Epstein cases. He always seems to pay his way out of there or settle out of court. He would definitely be a choice for me of someone that the DOJ should be looking into based on the victims and just his past and just his questionable behavior. Definitely one guy that should be investigated. The next one is the Sultan Ahmed bin Salim. Now, this man also uh, has ties stretching back from, I believe, 2007 with Epstein. The craziest part about him is he stayed friends with him well after the arrests and all that, the initial arrest, well after he was a sex offender. I spoke about this, I believe, last episode. Um, Epstein was trying to buy Great St. James. He couldn't do it, and this man right here pretty much used his name to buy the island for Epstein. They went into business together. They did a whole scheme to buy the island. Uh, Definitely more than just a co-signer. Definitely, in my opinion, knew what was going on. Pretty sure he was a part of things. Um, Definitely someone I would want to look into. That brings us to former Prince Andrew. I mean, everyone knows his name. He's everywhere. I think everyone wants him looked into. It seems to me that his own family would hand him over if the United States asked for it. I'm sure he knows a lot more than he's leading on to know. I'd love to see him, as I've said before, sitting in the basement of the worst prison we have here. Um, it would be nice to see him uh, get investigated by the DOJ. Which brings us to the next person, Wexner. Uh, Wexner is brought up a lot throughout the Epstein files, accused by different victims. Just a slimy guy, in my opinion. Um, he's worked with Victoria's Secret, I believe The Limited, um, all over the place. Just a slime ball in general, all over the Epstein files, friends with Epstein. Uh, I'm sure he knows a lot. On top of these guys, I'm not going to keep posting pictures. I mean, there's Steve Case from AOL. He's all over the files. Lawrence Krauss, he's a physicist, all over the files. He's actually the guy that tried to get Joe Rogan to meet with Epstein. Joe Rogan was smart enough to tell him to fuck off. Um, Martin Nowak, he's a professor in Harvard, all over the files. Um, just gross people. That would be my starting point, along with any doctors. If you remember a couple episodes ago, uh, we were going through the girl's journal. She was talking about uh, giving birth and having babies taken away. Forced abortions were a thing. I think some of these doctors should be pulled in, see what they know. If they're involved in something like that, I mean, get their license taken away. Do just something with these doctors. There's a bunch of them in there. Um, I'm sure in the unredacted files, you could probably find one or two of these doctors better than I could. But if things like that were going on there, I'm sure it wasn't just one guy, and they need to look into that, in my opinion, because that's horrific. If that's true, you know what I mean. If that's not just allegations, forced abortions, taking children away, getting these girls pregnant in the first place, it's all just disgusting. You know, but I want to get away from that. So let's talk about Puerto Rico for a second. Over the weekend, the governor of Puerto Rico, he came out and publicly stated that a fetus is a human being, and life starts at that. Um, Now the hospitals out there are freaking out. They're saying that they can't handle that many births going on. I think it's sad that they have more money invested in taking lives and delivering them, but nonetheless, hopefully that all changes over there. If this stays the way it does, if his decision stays the way it is, he will join 13 other U.S. states that have an almost complete ban on abortion. The exception being if the mother's life is in danger. It seems that Puerto Rico's turning a little more conservative. I wish the rest of America would turn conservative. Maybe we get rid of some of these riots going on, this craziness. I think it's time for the extremists to stop. You know, let's be normal. It's crazy to think that uh, not wanting to murder children makes you extreme. uh, that's been my show. You know, if you like things I talk about on here in America, give my channel a like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Rumble. They seem to be actually pushing my channel out, so follow me on Rumble wherever you're watching this. And as always, I'll see you later, America.